I want to welcome you to this third Yandex Expert Summit. This is the third year that we conduct these meetings, and I'm very happy to tell you that this year we have a record number of attendees. There is over 100 people, customers from outside Yandex, which are here. And I want to thank all of you for having taken the time out of your agenda and maybe even a flight to come here to join us for this day. I think the formula that we have developed for Yandex Expert Summit is something which is quite unique. That's at least the feedback that we get, that you are capable to meet not only the commercial guys like myself, but the real product team that actually build the tools that you use every day. This is a formula which we hear is quite unique and which you appreciate. And seeing by the number of people, I think this is really something we have to keep moving forward. Now, it's all about building bridges between our team, the teams also in Moscow, and your markets. And a little story about this place where we are here. What do you think this place has been built for? We always have these incredible locations in Berlin. And actually, after the first conferences which we run, they become very trendy, and everybody wants to have the conferences, right? But I'm sure none of you has ever been in here. So this was a Zavod. This was a construction enterprise. And guess what they built? They built bridges. That's why they are by the river. So this is a bridge factory. So I want to keep this symbol of bridges to make sure that today you're all really much taking time to connect to our people who came here with a lot of content and a lot of willingness to be open and talk about it. I think this is very important. We also want to thank our two sponsors. Every year we have companies that sponsor this event. This year, Hurrah, whose CEO is here amongst us. Thank you, Hurrah, for being again a partner, a long-standing partner in Germany and not only in Germany. And our second sponsor is a company called Expert. They are actually a bid management tool in Berlin, and they will join us for a keynote later today. Thank you very much for your support. This is much appreciated. When you talk about Russia these days, you cannot not mention what everybody has in mind. Not only the football lovers, but actually you have to think about it because we are all overflown with pictures and emotions. What happens in Russia with the World Cup so far has gone extremely well, and the feedback everybody is giving is very, very positive. So we said, we have to capitalize on these emotions and the fact that all these different countries actually come together, have a good game, and then they party together. And we wanted to do the same. So as we know, in the international sales organization, with our account management team, we have offices in different countries. So what we said, the girls were not really happy, but we decided to go for it. All of us will be wearing the flags of their country, right? So we are based in Lucerne. Sorry, I look like a priest, but I'm trying to be a football fan. So we are in Lucerne, and all the people with me in Lucerne will be wearing Swiss colors. And all the other people from Germany, from London, from Italy, France maybe, but even from America, they didn't qualify for the World Cup, but they qualify for yes, they will be wearing the colors. I would like all my colleagues to join me on stage with their hats on. So here we go. These are your account managers. They come and they are based in different countries. And you are here to meet with them today. On top, there are all the people also from Russia, which will be wearing, I hope, later. John, you have something? The Russian colors. And we also want to use another symbol, actually, of this World Cup. Just a second. If we ask a question to the audience, any speaker asks a question, and we don't get an answer, what we do, we just throw the ball. You can keep the ball, but you need to answer the question. All right? Good. We have many speakers here, but we have some people from Moscow also, actually over 30 people from Moscow who are with us, on stage, in the room, and backstage. And these people, they will be presented to you at the end of the session. But there is one particular individual which I want to introduce to you now, because he is very eager to get in touch with you. This is our new commercial director, first time with us in Yes, Leonid Savkov, director from Russia. Thank you, Leonid. You want to just greet a few words, just a second? We have a mic over here. Ah, you have it, yeah. All right.
So, hello. It's nice to see you all here. I've met some of you personally on the meetings that we've got, but I didn't meet all of you, of course, so far. So it's nice to get acquainted with you. I would be happy to chat during the breaks, and I'm here exactly for this. So come up, and I would be happy to chat with you, and have a good conference.
Thank you. Thank you, Leonid. Thank you. Dear colleagues, there is another person. He's more than a colleague. He's a legend of the Russian internet, and he's very loyal to Yes. Every year he's here with us, and without him, any Yandex conference would not be a Yandex conference. Andrei Sebrant.
Sorry, no symbols.
Thank you, Andrei, for moderating all these sessions. Andrei will take us through this journey. And I want to make sure, because we have speakers whom you have seen and new speakers you have never seen, and they prepared very well, but the problem is they have a lot of content to give you. So I want to make sure that you are completely connected to us. You're not trying to multitask and do 3 things at the same time, or you're still thinking about your early morning flight, something like this. So I want to do a little what we call an icebreaker, if you agree. We are here not just to work, we are here also for fun. Okay, shall we do an icebreaker? Andrei, can you take this on the video?
Yeah, I'm ready.
Okay, so please do what I say, we'll see if it works. You just stand up. All right? Okay, you take a good pose. Relaxed? You're relaxed. You're not relaxed yet. I feel the tension in the room. You're not relaxed. This is nothing bad. You put your arms on the side and you go slowly up, like this, trying not to hit your neighbor. We're not doing yoga because this is 1 floor below, actually. But now, you listen to me, and only when I give the command, you do what I say, okay? So when I give the command, you turn around and you give your hand to the person behind you. Now. Well, it looks like we have a good neural network in the room. Thank you, guys. Take your seat. So now we're all connected. Thank you for the exercise. I just want to take a few minutes to go through what we promised in the last editions of Yes and what our team has realized over the last 1.5 years. Some of these things you know, so let's go through it, because there will be some new stuff announced later. The first thing is, many of you have been expecting us to launch a new interface of Yandex Direct. This was long awaited, and it finally happened. We have now not only a new design, a much convenient interface, but it's a single window to access all the products you need for monetization and commercial. This is something which will keep expanding because the fundament has been done now. And this is something we're very grateful for our team and to Evgeny Lomizy and his team to have actually done this. I think it simplifies your life. The second thing is, you are all very much interested in doing retargeting. And our retargeting tool in the past was not the best one. So we have actually relaunched it. We have now introduced smart banners, which are out of beta, and we have new audiences which have been added. So this is something which increases in efficiency, and which some of you, and I hope all of you, are using. We have new formats. There will be a lot of talks about new formats. The main one is the new layouts we have on the search result page, which has increased efficiency from your campaign, and the advertisers who well prepared for it have already understood the advantages of it. And there will be a lot of discussion about the new formats in what we call YAN. YAN is the Yandex Advertising Network. So if today you hear YAN, think about the Yandex Advertising Network. A lot will come on that. We have a new mobile inventory, and here a very good news. The figure is not here, but please remember it. Yandex has a share of 45% of all mobile searches done in Russia. This is 5% more than last year. And this comes from our big focus on getting our Android share of voice up. 45% of our search of share in the mobile searches. And then finally, we have launched video extensions for Yandex Direct. And there will be a lot of content also in the presentation of Olga this afternoon about what you can do with video. Video is something which is very much used by the Russian customers we have in Russia, much less by the international customers. So here we want to have a frank discussion with you also what is going on in video in Europe, because we think there is a lot of potential and results are usually very great. Now, I just want to also give you just 3 slides and short update about the Russian advertising market and the latest figure which are available. All these presentations will be available for you if you need them for any internal meetings. So don't need to put notes, you will get this all. So the Russian advertising market in 2017 was worth 417 billion rubles. This is almost exactly 5 billion euros. It's not a lot compared to the German advertising market, but it's growing much faster at 14%. And this growth is actually driven by 2 main communication channels. TV, which grew by 13%, and obviously the main one, which is digital, which grew by 22% last year. 22% of the money worth spent in media in Russia, and the fastest growing is digital. Yandex is very proud to say that we have actually increased our share of this money spent in digital to 53%. If out of 10 rubles spent in Russia, or 100 rubles spent in Russia on digital advertising, 53 rubles come to Yandex. It was 51 a year ago, now it's 53. Which led us to this, to our revenues of 87 billion ruble last year. You know we are a publicly listed company. We have quarterly reports and earning calls. You see all this on our corporate website. In terms of audience, the Yandex audience, or the Russian internet audience is the biggest one in Europe. We have been claiming this for a few years. Now it's more than happened. We are actually ahead of Germany by quite a few points. We are now having 110 million online, 110 million people online in Russia on a monthly basis. And this is not only the biggest one, it's twice the size of the French market, for example. And I'm not comparing it to the Swiss market, obviously, because this would be funny. But it's twice the French market size. And it's still growing by 4% per year. So for you, when you talk to your company, to your boards, or to your CMOs, it's very important to say this is a big market, and people are more and more spending online. So this is something one cannot ignore anymore. Obviously, like everywhere in the world, the mobile audience is growing the fastest with a 20% growth, while desktop is flat, and you have a little growth in smart TV. So all our investments, our speeches, and all your investments in mobile are worth it because this is actually where the trend is going, and this is a trend everybody understands. And then looking a little bit forward, what will happen in the next years? Well, it is clear. The internet as a channel will command more and more money and increase its share of spend. And we passed TV, and this spread will be even accelerating. So this is the channel, communication channel #1 now in Russia. And Yandex is the leader in it, as you know. Now, I just want to take a little bit of your attention to think about the broader Yandex, the broader perspective on Yandex. We know it as a search engine, which was launched 21 years ago, but it is actually now much more than this. And to illustrate the variety of services we have, I think there is one number which you will have to guess. And I'm wondering if you will be close to the actual figure. And I'm taking my ball now to make sure I understand who will be answering the question. How many apps, mobile apps, does Yandex have for its customer altogether, active right now? How many apps? Who wants to try? 20? This is like bidding. Who goes higher? 10? Who wants to try? Come on. How many apps? Yandex as a company. 50, who said 50? 53. Congratulations. 53 apps in Yandex. And actually, I'm going to show you not all of them, otherwise we'll be here too long, and you have good speakers coming after me. But just as an illustration, these are 16 out of the 53. And if you see all these apps, you realize the depth of Yandex products and portfolio currently. So for example, if you take the main one, the search one, and you say, let's build a cluster around search as apps, or search-related businesses, then you see Yandex Zen, which you may know. You certainly know Yandex Direct, you know Yandex Metrica, all right? If you build a second cluster about mobility, then in mobility you have Navi, which I hope you know because it's great. You have Yandex Расписание, Yandex Transport, Yandex Taxi, for example. If you build a third cluster about free time, relaxation, and enjoying media consumptions, then you have Kinopoisk, Afisha, Yandex Jeda, we'll talk about that as a cluster. If I go further and talk about transactions, right, then you have Yandex Money, Yandex Деньги, you all know it, but you also have Aviabileti and Yandex Market as an example. And we could go on and on and on. And I think when you are interfacing with Yandex, it's important that you understand that this company is now much more than a search engine. It's actually spreading out to be a set of platforms on technology stacks on which other businesses can build their own enterprises. And the apps is, I think, a good demonstration of that. So let's go just to illustrate my point into a few of them you may not know. Yandex Zen. Yandex Zen is an algorithmic feed of news, which is personalized and is localized. So if you download Yandex browser on your mobile or on your desktop, Yandex Zen will understand the country you're in, assuming you're not having VPN, and then the news feed will actually come from that country. So my Yandex Zen is Swiss news, and it works, for example. This is enormously popular. We have 11 million people using it every day, and very sticky, as one say, because people stay 20 minutes per day. They read news via Yandex Zen. And Yandex Zen has been a huge addition to our advertising network. Next illustration. Spotify is not the #1 music streaming business in Russia. It's Yandex Music. Not sure all of you knew that. But it is actually the fact. And we have now a full business unit in charge of this. Not only music, but also Yandex Radio and all the Yandex media services. This is already quite big. We have 23 million tracks available, legally, of course, and 20 million listeners a month. Next example. Yandex Navi. I think you all use it. The product is so good that when we launch it in the market, it becomes #1. It happened in Turkey. Yandex is famous in Turkey, not for search, but for Navi right now. Everybody uses it. If I go to the next example, Yandex Taxi is what we call, or what the industry calls, an exponential success. It's something that grows so fast that it's almost impossible to manage. Currently, Yandex Taxi has 200,000 drivers. It's present in 8 countries, and actually was launched in the European Union because we just entered Estonia and have Yandex Taxi now available in Tallinn. So next time you travel to Moscow, if not yet done, make sure you use Yandex Taxi and you try it out. And it's so good that actually we made this joint venture with Uber because it was much more logical for them. They didn't have a product advantage against Yandex Taxi. Then we have what you may know less, but I think it's quite inspiring, so I wanted to share this with you. It's what we call experiments. So in Yandex, there is an entrepreneurship culture. If you have an idea, you present it to the management, and management agrees it may be a good idea, you get the freedom to come up with a prototype. If the prototype makes sense, then you have a chance to run it as a small project, which we call an experiment. You get money, you get a small team, and some time, 6 months. There are prototypes all over the place. The 2 of them that actually became or are becoming serious business is Yandex Zdarovye, Yandex Health, which allows you smoothly to contact any doctor for you, your kid, or even your pet without any problems, without waiting lists or whatever. And another one is Yandex Food, which is the equivalent of Uber Eats. If you want to order something good from a restaurant, just call Yandex Food and we will deliver it to you. So we are active in all these areas. And then there is one which is just took us by surprise because it's the fastest growing of all. It's Yandex Drive. Yandex Drive is car sharing. And we started this spring, and we already have by now, I think, over 1,000, not 750, but over 1,000 cars available just in Moscow. And it's growing so fast that it's a competitor to Yandex Taxi because it's cheaper. So this is something which even completely took us by surprise. And this is something which is completely changing the mobility patterns inside Moscow. And when you talk about all this mobility, you cannot not be in the race which is related to self-driving cars. So according to our experts, there are 4 teams on the earth that are actually currently really working on that with a strong position. And we are one of them. It's not very famous. We don't make PR around it. But this picture was taken last fall when the management team had a retreat outside of Moscow. And actually, all of us had to sit in the car and go around the park without any driver. It was a strange impression because it was snowy and slippery. So we don't train on dry street. We train with snow. So this is just to bring to your attention all what is going on. And now, the main thing of the day. The main thing of the day is the speakers that come actually after me. This was just a little bit wake up for you. Again, thank you for being here. And Andre, I would like to welcome you now on the stage. Thank you very much.